So dear student, so today we'll be discussing one important topic in the chapter Waves and Oscillation of Engineering Physics. So I think you can see the page clearly, correct? Yeah. So the theory of forced oscillation. So in today's session, we are gonna find the expression for amplitude and phase in forced oscillation. So three conditions is depending upon. One is the restoring force which is acting, correct? Second is a damping force, and third is the external periodic force. So these three things I'm going to put in a differential equation as shown. In the sense, I'll just use a highlighter. Just give me a minute. Yeah. I think you can see the highlighter point, or let me check this. I think this is much better, I think so. The highlighter point. So this is our equation actually, m d square y by dt square is equal to minus ky minus b into dy by dt plus f naught cos omega t, this one. Okay, so what is the first equation I'm going to do is, this m is there, right, on the left hand side, correct? This m I'm going to divide it on the right hand side fully. Okay, so that I should only get d square y by dt square. So I'll be getting minus k y by m minus b by m dy by dt and f naught by m. And this b by m is there, right? Correct? This b by m, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to replace it with gamma. That is called a damping coefficient. And all of this minus signs is there, no? This I'm going to bring it to the left hand side, in the sense this side. This term and this term. Correct? After dividing throughout by m. And this b by m, what I'm going to replace with gamma. Correct? And we all know what is my omega naught root of k by m. So instead of k by m, I can put omega naught square. And then there is f naught by m cos omega t, which is nothing but the applied force. I told you, right? The external periodic force acting on the system. So this is our first equation after substitution and everything. Now, the second part is the solution of the equation, nothing but z is equal to a e power I omega t minus phi. This z is equal to a e power I bracket omega t minus phi. Okay, so please note down this thing if it is not clear from this particular PDF. So I'm going to clear the screen now. You can pause it and you can clear it up. Then what I'm going to do is, substitution of equation 2 in equation 1. So as you can see, there are two equations, right? Correct? Yes. So this 2 I'm going to substitute in equation 1. Which value? Z is equal to a e power I omega t minus phi. So how I'm going to substitute? I'll just show you. Yes. Okay. One second. So now it is clear. Yeah. Or else the page was just going here and there. Yes. So now I think we can see both the pages simultaneously. Correct? So substituting 2 and 1. Substituting what? Z value. We can see the Z value here, no? So wherever Z is there, put a e power I omega t minus phi. That's all. I'm not going to do anything else. Okay. And e power I omega t minus phi is a constant, so that I can take it outside. I have taken it outside. And just put what is Z? D square. So Z is what? What is this thing? Minus omega square. And here it is what? This gamma, don't forget this gamma. That is why I omega gamma A is coming. Next one, omega square A. Omega square A. Because Z is what? A e power I omega t minus phi. That's all. Okay. Z is nothing but what? My A e power I omega t minus phi. And right hand side as it is. Because there is no Z. So I'm not going to put it any changes in this. Now what I'm going to do is, from these two equations, I'm going to take A outside. 1 second. This equation, I'll take it outside. I omega gamma A. This, please take it outside in the sense and group these two terms, whichever I'm circling now. Group these two terms. I'll take a different color for grouping these two red color terms together. Omega naught square minus omega square into A plus this term, I'm going to write it here separately. Clear up to this? Yes. And this e power I omega t minus phi is there, that I'm going to divide with this. So if it is dividing e power I omega t divided by what? E power I omega t minus phi, correct? So if this full term is going to top, it will become what? E power minus I omega t minus phi. This is in denominator, so plus I. If the same term is going for numerator, it will become minus I. That's what they're written down here in this particular PDF. Clear? Yeah. So with this, I clear the drawings. So to avoid further confusion. Simple steps only. It is not at all difficult. Then omega naught square minus omega square A, I omega. This same thing, I'm going to write it. Here also same thing. Only thing is, here what will happen? This I omega t is plus I omega t. This is minus I omega t. So it will become e power 0. And minus minus plus e power I phi I'll be getting. That's all. And what is my e power I theta? Cos theta plus I sine theta. This we have studied in our class 11 complex numbers. Same thing in polar coordinates. Correct? The same thing. Instead of theta, it is here e power I phi. So cos phi plus I sine phi respectively. That I'm going to put in place of e power I phi. That's all. Then what I'm going to do? Now I have an imaginary part and a real part. Correct? So I will equate the, what are my real part? Real part I will circle with blue color, or else let me take yellow color. Yellow color I'll circle with real parts. Imaginary part I'll circle with green. So this is my imaginary I and this is my imaginary. And do not forget to multiply f naught by m. Okay, that is common. That will come in both real and imaginary parts respectively. Okay, so just pause the video and just see whether you're able to focus clearly or not, whatever I'm telling. Then once you separate the real and imaginary part, the equation will be like equation 3 and equation 4 respectively. So again, pause the video, write it down, all of these things. So once equation 3 and 4 is done, then what I have to do? I have to find what this 3 and 4, correct? Squaring and adding equation 3 and 4. So if I square and add, square on both the sides, correct? And if I add, I'll be getting this term. I have to find A. What is my A? Amplitude. Okay. And phase. Phase is nothing but theta, the angle. That is called the phase. So basically, I'll take tan theta or tan phi, because that is what is my tan phi? Slope. Okay. We get phase as gamma omega and by omega square minus omega naught square minus omega square respectively. That is my slope. Okay. And if you're having, okay, how I am getting this A? Write that out. Yeah. How I am getting this tan phi? Just divide equation 4 by equation 3. This is basically what? 4 by 3. Equation 4 divided by equation 3 respectively. I'll be getting tan phi. And this one is squaring and adding. So equation 3 square plus equation 4 square, you'll get amplitude. That's all. So remember 3 square plus 4 square for 1 and second one is 4 by 3. That's all. Simple things. You can do it and you get the answer just like that. Again, pause it and these things you write as a tip so that it will be easy for you to memorize. And practice these things at least 2-3 times so that it will be stay in your memory. Once this is over, condition for the forced oscillation. And for this, it's very easy. Once you read it, you'll come to know. But only thing what I want to tell you is the resonance here. What is resonance? Maximum frequency. Correct? When my XL is equal to XC, inductive reactance capacitor, that is when I'll get the resonance here. Okay, when omega less than omega naught, or omega naught is very much greater than omega, which means I can make it omega as 0 in the amplitude in the above equation, and I'll get this. Okay, tan phi will be 0 for this. When omega is equal to omega naught, I'll be getting what? F naught by m gamma omega naught respect, and 1 by 0 is infinity. That's how I get tan phi is infinity. Always what you have to do is you have to compare the, I'm just not doing anything much. I'm substituting the final answer of this. Which one? Tan phi. Correct? Can you see this thing? Yeah. Here, amplitude I'm substituting in here. Omega square I make it 0. Correct? Then once you do it, I'll be getting this. Tan phi. Tan phi I'm substituting in this particular equation. So that also I'm getting 0. Next one, if omega is omega naught, tan phi value is infinity. Not defined. A is equal to what? F naught by m omega, m gamma omega naught. Omega is equal to omega naught. This full equation will be 0. That's the reason I'm getting this gamma omega here. Please do substitute, you'll get the answer just like that. And always note that the phase difference value is always pi by 2. This is just extra information. If you can write it, it's excellent. And again, if omega is greater than omega naught, I'll be getting the both. And don't forget to draw the diagram, as this is very important for the examination point of view. Okay, and only for this particular thing, the phase difference is minus pi. The other one, as I told you, it is pi by 2. Okay, so this you have to remember and note it down, and that's all. So thank you guys.